Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the January 20th, 2026 date of the Board of Municipal Zoning Appeals. My name is Justin Williams. I am the interim executive director of the BMZA. The board members here this afternoon are David Marcosi from left to right, David Marcosi, Victor Clark, Leland Shelton, who's our chair, Liz Cornish, and Ryan Hargrave. We ask everyone, please turn off your cell phones. Also, if you need to speak privately with another person, we ask you to have your conversations in the lobby or in the hallway. That's because this hearing is being recorded. We have a court reporter here, and we also have cameras in the ceiling that are being recording live, and then will be, I guess, broadcast on Charm TV. So we ask you have your conversations outside so the microphones don't pick up that conversation. We'll be going through the cases, through the docket, probably in order. When your case is heard, we ask the applicant come up, introduce themselves, spell your name for the court reporter, and we take an oath before giving testimony. Yeah, I said it before, but if you haven't done it already, please write your name on the sign-in sheet if you intend to speak on any topic. Attorneys, applicants, those in favor, those opposed, please sign in. The board will probably vote on your request today, but that vote is not final. By law, the zoning board staff must prepare a written document called a resolution, which requires drafting and review. This process takes several weeks, and we'll send it to you by email, and if you're the appellant, you'll have it uploaded in your Acela account. We ask you do not build until you have the written approval on permits in Baltimore City. There's no preliminary meeting agenda items. There are three postponements today. If you're here for 801 West Cross Street, that's case 25-145. The appellant is Marisol Benitez. That case has been postponed. Also postponed is case 25-183. That's 5401 York Road. The appellant is Uchenna Ekwanye. If you're here for that case, the case has been postponed. And the last postponement is 25-204. The address is 1029 West 37th Street. The appellant is Chase Hoffberger. That case has been postponed. I think that is all, Mr. Chair. Ready to proceed.
Thank you so much. I just want to underscore very quickly that if you are here to speak today, whether you plan to speak for or against a case, when you hear that case called, please come to the front. You can have a seat at either one of these tables. You have to stand and be sworn by a court reporter. Remember, guys, only one person can speak at a time to be able to maintain the integrity of the record. And also, please make sure that the green button on the microphone, the green light on the microphone in front of you is on. That means it's being recorded. So first case I'm calling today is appeal number 22-300, 1101 North Carrollton Ave. Mohammed Saeed is the appellant. The purpose is to use the first floor as a retail goods establishment requiring conditional use approval. First, we will hear from planning and staff. Sir, you may be seated.
Good afternoon. Justin Walker, DOP. 1101 North Carrollton Avenue. It's a conditional use request for a neighborhood commercial establishment to be used as a retail goods store. We confirmed that the property does have the required history of non-residential use. And just to reiterate, as per section 14.328 of the zoning code, the sale of tobacco and alcohol products is prohibited in a neighborhood commercial establishment. So if that, planning recommends approval of the appeal.
Thank you so much. Sir, could you please stand and be sworn?
Stand right again. Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and statements that you state will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And you are Mr. Mohammed Saeed?
Yes.
Okay, I have your spelling. Thank you.
You may be seated, sir. Yes. Can you press the button on the microphone in front of you, please? Thank you. Tell us about your application. What brings you before us today?
I tried to open daily grocery, and I got it approved before, and I can't make it. About I live in New York, and now when I'm coming old, I try to I don't know how you drive no more about I have disc and stuff like this, and I can't drive no more in New York. I have to come and live in Maryland, me and my wife, and I try to open a store. That's it.
Okay, what kind of goods will you be selling at this
Daily
store?
grocery.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tell me more about the
coffee,
items.
sandwich, and stuff like this. Cigarette,
Okay.
that's it.
Do you plan on selling any tobacco products?
No, only cigarette.
Only cigarettes?
Yes.
That is a tobacco product.
And
You're not allowed to sell tobacco
it's
products.
It's a problem when you come in, you come in the store to buy coffee and sandwich.
Well, you
whatever.
can't. The law says you can't sell it. You can't. So
Oh.
that's going to be a condition of your approval. If we do approve, that you will not be allowed to sell tobacco products because it's the law.
That's for a cigarette. That's
Yes,
tobacco.
the zoning code after it's been changed has sort of phased out the ability to sell tobacco products at just a neighborhood corner grocery store.
Sandwich.
Sandwich is fine.
Okay.
No tobacco
Sandwich
products,
and,
including cigarettes.
stuff like this. Oh, okay, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me more about. Have you operated a convenience store before?
No, I work taxi before in New York, and now my back is hurt. I have disc and my knee. I can't drive no more. That's what happened. I'm coming to Maryland to work and stay and meet my wife.
Could you describe a bit more about your plans to keep the property safe?
Oh yeah, that's 100%. Before I scared. Now I have to make it all camera everywhere.
Okay,
But I
cameras.
don't want to die. Number one, I have to be camera everywhere and light. Even your bullet enable more.
Okay. And what
Better.
hours do you plan to operate?
Huh?
What hours do you plan to operate to be open?
Like in the morning to night.
Could you give me more specific times?
Like in the store open and it close.
But you need a time.
Okay. Like 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like this, and 6 o'clock in the morning.
So, sir, your before us today, the standard that we use, we have to assess
Only
whether.
speak English very well.
Okay, so
I
our job is to make in order to give you a conditional use approval, we have to ask you questions about how the use of the property, how you'll be using it, how whatever negative consequences that may come from the use, what will they be above and beyond what we should expect? And so I'm going to ask you questions about what time you'll be operating your business, what products you will be selling out of your business. What are your plans for keeping your business secure and safe? Just so we can have a better understanding of whether or not this is a use that will be great for this neighborhood. I will say that there's no opposition from any of your neighbors. It does not seem that any of your neighbors have any problems with you being here, but we just are asking some questions.
okay.
And so the more detail that you can give us, the better we will be able to assess whether or not we can grant you a conditional use. So,
Okay.
So, and we also are able to impose conditions on our approval. And so, so if you don't have a time, then we might want to substitute a time for you. So, we're always in your best interest to suggest what time you might want to operate your business, and so we can give that consideration instead of us having to impose our own restriction on you.
Okay.
So you say morning to night. You said 10 p.m. Well, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Does that sound like?
No, 6 o'clock in the morning, people take a breakfast and stuff like this, cake and coffee and stuff like this, whatever, 7 o'clock like this, okay? After like coming like 8, 9, I don't know exactly. When I'm older like this, I can go upstairs sleep, wherever I have a chance.
How about 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.? How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna write that in. Any other questions for the appellant? Okay. Well, after reviewing your application and hearing your testimony today, I do not find that the establishment of this.
And I want to put a camera everywhere. And
Okay,
I need
great.
TV.
That's great.
And I want to put it more light to
Okay.
people coming to my store clean and nice.
Okay. All right, thank you. I think we've heard enough, and so I think we're ready to try to see if we can come to an agreement. Um, after reviewing your application, hearing your testimony, I do not find that the establishment of this use of a corner store, essentially, of a neighborhood commercial establishment at this location would bring negative consequences or adverse effects that would go above and beyond what should be expected of a corner store anywhere else within the zoning district. The conditional use is not precluded by any other law. I do not believe that authorizing this conditional use would be contrary to the public interest, and I believe that the authorization would be in harmony with the purpose and intent with the code. I am proposing that we, although it's just a law, I do want to add that we maybe propose a restriction of not just selling tobacco products and hours of operation between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. We're going to also suggest that you reach out to the Baltimore City Police Department to see that you can integrate your camera systems into their camera system. So with all of that said, I am a yes for this conditional use approval.
For me, I'd be safe when I put more camera and a light. I'd be more safe here, 100%.
I'm also a yes.
I vote yes.
I'm also a yes with the same conditions as the chair has mentioned.
I'm a yes, but I would like to just make sure that the time is right and that a closing at 8 o'clock feels sufficient to you, if that's going on the record. Do you think you need 10 p.m., 11? When I think of a corner store, you typically don't see them closing at like 8 p.m.
That mean no good stay to 8 o'clock?
Yeah, that's what's been
Okay.
So
communicated so far.
we don't want to kneecap your business before it opens. And so if you think that you will have customers who will be coming and frequenting your business after 8 p.m., maybe until 10 p.m., you should speak up and say that. And so remember, I imposed that because it wasn't clear from you what time you would like to operate your business. So do you have a preferred time to open and close?
Yeah, like now, like 7, like you said, to 8 o'clock is okay for me. Okay. When we call in, when I open, when you have a customer stuff like this, like you say, a little bit, different. That's it, and no more. About I got a disc and my wife same thing.
Okay.
And I don't want it. My wife hurt and I hurt.
Well, sir, I think that is unanimous yes. So thank you for that is approval. Please do not make any alterations to the business or open the business until you receive a resolution in the mail from the zoning board. Thank you for coming today.
God bless you, everybody. Thank you very much for help.
No problem.
And I'm sorry I don't speak English.
You're fine.
I go to school later and I come in the second time to learn.
Thank you, sir.
God
No
bless
problem.
everybody.
For minute purposes, so did all the members agree to the conditions proposed by the
Yes.
chair?
Now I'm calling. Okay. Now I'm calling case 2591, 5412 Tradmore Road. Candace Montgomery is the appellant. The purpose of the appeal is to use the portion of the premises as an urban agriculture requiring conditional use approval. First, we will hear from planning and staff. You can be seated.
So 5412 Tradmore Road is a request for conditional use authorization to use the property as urban agriculture. Planning understands that the proposal is for a hydroponic system that will be contained in an accessory structure on the lot. The urban agriculture use standards in 14339 say that if food will be grown for human consumption, a plan must be submitted and approved by the Director of Planning regarding testing and remediation of the soil. Because the system will be hydroponic and will not have any interaction with the soil, the plants won't grow in the soil, that requirement that is no longer required because, again, the plants will be in the soil. The applicant did establish a water quality plan to ensure that the water that the plants are grown in is safe for human consumption. So with that, planning just notes the accessory structure requirements of 14.399, which the applicant's submitted plans do conform with, and we have no objection to the appeal.
Thank you. Please stand and be sworn.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I affirm.
Thank you. And you are Ms. Candace Montgomery?
That is correct.
Thank you. I have your spelling.
I believe this is a first for us, so please tell us about your project.
So hydroponic farming is pretty much a closed system. It's all water. They're using no soil. The great thing about it is that it can be grown all season, all year round. There are no seasons. It's in a controlled environment. We're able to control the temperature, the humidity, and of course, any type of pest control or any type of diseases. We're able to detect that as well. Also have it's a pretty much automated system that we're using lots of tech to this system, but pretty much if you look at this shed on this picture, right in front of this shed, we're going to have a 40 by 10 is what we're looking at, 40 foot by 10, and that's going to go just to about the corner of that house. It's about 40 feet of what we're looking at.
So I might interrupt you. Some of us might interrupt you as you're speaking, just to ask questions.
Yeah, no problem.
Just to be sure, this will be an above ground.
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct. So it's all going to be, we're looking at greenhouses right now. I understand that would need an additional permit. But we're looking at a few options to see how we're going to grow this. But first, we would need the permit before we do anything.
Okay. What kind of crops?
So our main products are leafy greens. That's your kale, your lettuce, butterhead, things like that. And then we have herbs. Those are our main products. Our top sellers, though, are tomatoes, carrots, strawberries, any type of berries. But those are more kind of based on market demand.
Right.
Yeah.
Seasonal. Okay. Will you be also living at the home?
Yes.
On the property?
This is my primary residence.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Design of what the,
Turn the microphone on.
yeah, I was just checking if there's a design in the packet of the actual hydroponic plant. What are the scale sizes?
So we're looking at 10 feet by 40 feet?
10 by 40?
Yes. And I do want to say that is included in the site plan, the drawing that was submitted with the package.
That's what I'm looking for. Okay. How high does it go?
8 feet,
8 feet.
yes.
I'm good.
Any other questions? I'd like to adopt the findings from the planning department. For the record, any problems with that?
No.
No.
Okay. Well, after reviewing your application, comments from planning department, and hearing your testimony today, I have not heard anything that will lead me to believe that the establishment of the proposed use, urban agriculture, using hydroponic urban farming, would create any adverse effects that will go above and beyond what would be usually expected of urban agriculture anywhere else in the R3 district. Because of that, I am a yes for the conditional use approval for this project.
Thank you. Also a yes.
Also, yes.
I'm a yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Now calling 25-137, 1118 Light Street. Annie Wright is the appellant. The purpose of the appeal is to use the premises as a daycare center, adult or child, 15 adults requiring a conditional use approval. First, we will hear from planning and staff.
Sorry, is that 137?
Yes.
So 1118 Light Street is a conditional use request in the C1 zoning district for a daycare adult with up to 15 adults served on site. It is only the conditional use request, no variances required. As is typical with daycare uses, planning's concern is with the pickup and drop-off. We understand that the applicant submitted a pickup drop-off plan, which involved guardians parking on the street or the nearby parking garage and calling staff to meet them at the front door to address any possibility of double parking or any safety concerns. We have our common condition of reaching out to the parking authority to establish a loading zone in front of the property for the pickup and drop off of the adults at the site. But with that condition, planning recommends approval of the appeal.
Thank you, ma'am. Could you please stand and be sworn?
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
And you are Miss Annie Wright?
Yes.
Okay, I have your spelling. Thank you.
So please tell us about what brings you here today.
This is our adult medical daycare center. We transitioning to this building that we found. We have fixed it and we contacted the Office of Healthcare Quality. We've been doing the business for over 8 years as the program director. So where we were, there's a water leak, and so we have to look for another building. So we found this building, and the building, according to HOCQ, is suitable for the adult daycare. The engineering went there and saw it and said it was okay. But we believe that this program will also benefit the community because they can drop off their loved ones and we can pick them up. They can have somewhere to go. They have breakfast and lunch. They can play their bingo, play their music, and we can drop them off.
Okay. Could you tell me a bit more about, planning had a comment suggesting that you reach out to the Baltimore City Parking Authority to establish a pickup and drop-off loading zone in front of the property, or to see if one could be established. Would you be open to doing that?
Yes, I also even contacted them and said we did a demo. The buses, the NTA buses coming. The staff are there already in a uniform. They just drop them and the staff take them in. Cause it's on the floor. It's on the first floor. So we already done that. So we found out that we don't have problem with.
It's gonna be hard. They might not want to give up those parking spots on Light Street. Any other questions?
Just so I understood, you said that the drop-off process is that a guardian would, can you just run through that? A guardian is gonna?
No, our staff, we have staff that wear uniform. They would just be right outside the door. Cause everything is on schedule and time with the buses and our vehicle. They drop them, the buses take them and walk them. Cause they are older adult, so they would just take them into the building. Cause it's on the first floor.
Okay, I thought first floor. I thought you said fifth floor. I was like, wait. There's something here.
I'm sorry, could you clarify, so is it the MTA bus, or do you have staff that are doing the transportation?
Yes, we have started with this transportation at MTA bus.
And then I'm sorry, one more question too. You mentioned you were somewhere else before. Can you give more information?
We were at a church, 4801 Staple Avenue, but because they are older adult and the church could not make it to fix the system that they had there because it's an old building. So that's why we have to find another place for the clients. So I had to take them on a field trip because the Office of Healthcare Quality asked me to take them on trips now until we can get the building approved by the city because they couldn't be in the heat and I can't keep them there in the heat. So, the place are too cold for them. But we have put cameras in all the building. First floor, outside, we can sit in our office and see. Once the bus passes, we'll see everything from the building.
Okay. Any other questions of the applicant?
No.
I would also like to adopt the planning department's findings of fact regarding this case. After reviewing the application, hearing today's testimony, I find that the applicant has expressed a willingness to reach out to the parking authority to inquire about the ability to establish a pickup, a drop-off loading zone at the property. Another condition that we also often have to ask about for daycare centers is lighting, because this is located on the main street. There appears to be more than enough street lighting to provide safety for the building. And so I find that the establishment of an adult daycare center here of no more than 15 adults will not cause any adverse effects that will go above and beyond what we should expect of an adult daycare center anywhere else in the district. And for those reasons, I am a yes to the conditional use.
Also a yes. Also a yes.
I vote yes.
And I'm a yes as well.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you.
And to clarify the board that the planning's condition will be part of the decision that they contact parking authority.
Now calling case 25-153, 300 South Elamont Street. Phil Stetler is the appellant. The purpose of the appeal is to build a telecommunications facility requiring a conditional use approval. The planning department, I think you guys had, is this the same project that was postponed before?
Yes, it was.
Do you have anything additional?
So the recommendation is the same as
Okay.
the prior case.
Okay, great. Well, you don't have to be sworn. So, Doug, tell us.
I mean, I guess the staff report, I mean, I think, I'll draw your attention, your board packets and printed materials do have the letter from council dated, I think, December 4th with the updated engineer plan, so all of the council can explain that, and his letter referenced the community meeting, although I don't think we received any new correspondence since the last case.
Did you need planning commission reiterated or?
No. It's still on the record because this was just the same hearing essentially. Mr. Sampson, tell us about the updated site plan. Let's start there.
Yes, thank you to the chair and the members of the board. Again, Doug Sampson here on behalf of the appellant. Phil Stetler and Julie Erb, who are also part of the appellant team, are here with me if you need to speak with them. I don't need to go through everything we talked about last time. This is replacement coverage for 3221 Frederick Avenue, a building that is more or less condemned, and the building is structurally failing, and the antennas on that building need to be relocated to the proposed facility here. That is part of this application at 300 South Elamont. We did hear all of the board's feedback last time, and I'm glad that we took the additional time to provide the information that I feel the board was looking for. We have clarified that the fall zone for this tower will be 43 feet. We have an engineering letter that was submitted supplementally, as well as the updated site plans that show the fall zone of 43 feet. Just very quickly on how these fall zones work, the tower is over-engineered, and then they have what are considered breakpoints in them. And so it's kind of like the rest of the tower is over-engineered, and then there's a portion that is engineered a little bit less. So in the unlikely event that there is a catastrophic failure, that piece would collapse first. So it basically makes the tower kind of hinge down and fall straight down as opposed to falling straight over. And so that's the purpose of these fall zones. It will be 43 feet for this, and I did bring extra copies of the site plans. I know that they were submitted as part of the Excel portal, but I do have them with me as well. The other piece that I want to touch on is the community outreach. Last time there were questions about both our signs and the lack of community outreach, and we heard that feedback. The signs are posted. They are professionally printed and meet the standards that are in the code. Additionally, on December 17th, I sent out a letter to about 118 properties that were within 500 feet of this proposed site, so the 500-foot radius of where we're going to be putting this. It included a 2-page information sheet about this. I also provided my own personal contact information for anybody who might have questions. It also invited any community members to a virtual community meeting, which we held on January 6th. I have copies of that correspondence if anybody needs it, but again, we did submit that as part of the Excel portal. We did hold a community meeting on January 6th, virtually by Zoom. There were 4 members of the public that attended. 3 were from the Mount Olivet Community Association, which were here last time in opposition. There was a 4th community member who had some questions about health effects and just about how it would affect coverage in the area. I brought a couple of slide decks of what we had during that community meeting, which is not part of the portal if the board would like to see them. But I just wanted to highlight the additional community outreach we've had.
You should give one to Justin just so it can be on the record.
Sure. So I submitted 2 copies there. I can also submit it electronically after this if that helps for the full record. That meeting lasted approximately 70 minutes. There were a lot of questions and some of the similar concerns that we heard last time. And there was a good discussion back and forth. I have a recording of that as well, which I told the community association, and in the letter I sent out that anybody who couldn't make it could contact me and I'd provide them with a recording of that. Nobody has contacted me requesting that recording. Additionally, there's only been one other property owner who contacted me after the letter was sent out. It was a business owner who's across the street who was offering his property as an alternative to this, but we decided to continue proceeding with this property because we believe it is the most compliant with the zoning code and with the spirit of the zoning code as an industrial zone property. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions, but we believe that we've met all of the requirements of the code and that this particular application does not have any inherent adverse effects that are unique to this property compared to any other similarly situated properties in the same district.
Any other questions of the applicant?
No.
I would like to thank you for taking the time, crossing your T's and dotting your I's. I know that can be sometimes difficult, and timelines really matter. And this place is, like you said, is already run down and it needs to be replaced. So I really appreciate you for doing that for us.
Well, I was grateful to the board for their comments and to have a client who was willing to take that extra step.
Absolutely. So after reviewing your application, hearing your testimony from both today, well, is there any opposition here today? I want to make sure. Okay. Today, I am satisfied that this proposed monopole satisfies the conditional use standards in the zoning code. I am the applicant's submittal of a updated site plan identifying the fall zone for the property and ensuring that the project exceeds the minimum setback requirements within the industrial mixed use 1 zone. I find that the establishment and the placement of the monopole at this location will not lead to any adverse effects that would go above and beyond what should be expected of this use or any other place in the zoning district. And so for those reasons, I am a yes for the application.
Also a yes.
Also a yes.
I vote yes.
And I'm a yes.
Thank you very much, members of the board.
Yes, thank you. Now I'm calling 2544 3006 Wally Avenue. Sharona Edwards is the appellant. The purpose of the appeal is to use the first and second floors of the daycare center with 12 children, requiring the additional use and variances to the bulk and yard regulations. First, we will hear from planning and staff.
So Appeal 25044 is a conditional use request for a daycare center with required variances. So we understand that the applicant has been operating a home daycare, which is a permitted use in the R6 zoning district. They desire to increase the number of children from 8 to 12, which changed the use to a home day or to a daycare center, which is approvable by conditional use in the R6. We also understand that the applicant has a pre-existing loading zone in front of the property that was established by the parking authority, so that condition will not be added. With this appeal, there's also a required variance for insufficient lot area. To be forthcoming, this board obviously has approved conditional uses in row houses for a daycare where there was not an included variance. But this one and also the next daycare appeal were sent up with a required variance that when the use of the property is changed from a row house dwelling to a daycare, it then falls under the all other uses category of the Balkan Yard standards, which requires 3,000 square feet, which almost no row house lot in the city, of course, would meet. So with this application, there's a variance request for lot area. The requirement is 3,000 square feet. The lot contains 2,300 square feet, so a 700 square foot or 23% lot area variance is required. And planning recommends the approval of both the conditional use and the variance.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, could you stand and be sworn, please?
Yeah.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And you are Miss Sharina Edwards?
Yes.
Great, I have your spelling, thank you.
Tell us about your daycare center.
Hello, everyone. I'm currently the owner of Rising Stars Family Daycare. We've been operating since 2018. We service the Northwest community area on Wiley Avenue. We would like to increase to a large family daycare. We have been doing a large daycare center. We have been doing family daycare for the last 5 years. And I just graduated, and I would like to increase my kids to be able to teach more children.
Okay.
And we get requests for more kids, and I can't take them in my area because of the number of kids I'm already approved for.
Okay. Tell us about, there's some questions we always have
that's
to ask. The first question always is for pick up and drop off. Could you
Yes.
tell us about the rules for pick up and drop off, and whether or not you have already reached out to the parking authority to establish a loading zone?
So previously, I had concerns too because of my areas, and I wanted to make sure that my children didn't get dropped off in the street or double parked. So I already went to parking authority before, like a couple years ago. So we have a loading and sign in between the house, right in front of it.
Okay.
Where our parents park right there, and they drop their kids off, and then they only have 5 minutes. If someone else parks there, to run in the store, they only have 5 minutes to sit there, and then they have to move.
Okay.
However, I've been in my neighborhood for over 10 years, so everybody respects my daycare, so they don't park there, and they make sure no one else does.
Okay. And so because this is currently, I think, it's a daycare center for up to 12.
Yes,
So
and I have 8 now.
presumably, things like lighting, outdoor play area, all those things are already on the property.
Yes,
They're
so I
just
have
trying to
security
extend-
up already.
Okay.
To protect my parents, of course, because we open at 6 a.m.
Uh-huh.
We close at 6. It gets dark. We have lighting out front, but we are going to put more lighting.
Okay. Okay.
And I enclosed my backyard too as well.
How long have you lived at the property? I want to get some more.
Since 2015.
2015, and it seems that this property has had a long use, as it seemed. Well, any other questions for the applicant?
No questions.
No questions. Okay. I'll start with the conditional use.
You can always just stop the plannings if you want to.
Yeah.
Talk it through if you wish, but you
Yeah,
can
but-
stop plannings right
Want
now.
to adopt the planning's recommendations for both in total, their findings, and so for conditional use. After hearing your testimony and reviewing the application, I do not see any adverse effects that will come from expanding the use from 12 to no more than 12 to no more than 35. That will go above and beyond what would be expected anywhere else in the zoning district, particularly because this is an already established commercial daycare that's within the neighborhood that has outdoor play area, has lighting in place, has a loading zone in place, and seeing no opposition from your neighbors, want to assume that people in your neighborhood would like to have more daycares in their neighborhood. And so for all those reasons, I'm a yes to the conditional use.
Yes to the conditional use.
Yes to the conditional use.
Yes, for conditional use.
And I'm also a yes, and I just wanted to verify that it was up to 12, correct, 12 children.
Yeah, it's up to
Maximum.
12.
Up to
Right,
12.
I thought I heard you
not
say 35.
Okay,
Right,
yeah.
up to 12
12,
maximum.
okay.
8 to 12, yeah. So
Correct.
we have 8 now. We just want to increase to 12.
Okay, so the finding says maximum of 35
Okay.
in the planning department, but I want to make sure that we're approving 12. You know what? I'm looking at 186.
That's why I wanted to clarify that for you, because
Yeah, thank
the
you
next
so
one's
much. I'm looking at
35.
186. Getting ahead of myself, y'all. We're almost out of here. But I'm a yes for the conditional use.
Yep.
And then the
Variance.
variance, the lot area.
Yeah.
You can adopt planning's rationale.
Adopting
if you're so
planning
inclined.
recommendation. I do find that there's a uniqueness established with this property. It is an already existing childcare center that has a history of, being a family with a family daycare. Because of the hardship is the zoning code itself. And so without the zoning code's requirement that all other uses within the zone district have 3,000 square foot of lot area, there would be no problem with you would not need a variance. And so that's not through no fault of your own, but through the zoning code itself. The purpose of the variance is not based exclusively on the desire to increase the value or income potential of the property. I do not believe that the variance will be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity or substantially diminish and impair property values in the neighborhood. I believe the variance is in harmony with the purpose and intent of the city code. It's not in any CHAP district or there's no urban renewal plan, so I'm a yes for a variance for this project.
Also a yes for the variance.
Yes for a variance.
Yes for the variance.
And I'm a yes for the variance.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now calling today's winner.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So I have to wait to get a letter in the mail?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Now I'm calling 25-186, 2638 East Baltimore Street. A&S Community Solutions LLC, doing business as Little Ducklings Community Preschool, is the appellant. The purpose is to use the first and second floor as a daycare center with no more than 35 children, requiring a conditional use and variances to the Balkan Yard regulations. First, we will hear from planning and our staff.
So for 2638 East Baltimore Street, this is a conditional use with required variances for a daycare center with up to 35 children. Site's located directly across from Patterson Park. This site does not yet contain a drop-off area, so planning does have the condition or the recommendation of a condition to establish a loading zone on what is North Lakewood, which would be the side of the property there where the building has more street frontage as opposed to the front of the structure. Again, similar to the last case, because the use has a daycare center, changes the Balkan Yard standards to the all other uses category. There is insufficient lot area. 3,000 square feet is required. 1,386 square feet is contained, requiring a 1,614 square foot variance. Planning does note that this structure does have full lot coverage, which is not a common condition of the rest of the block, so it may make it more suitable than other structures within the neighborhood for the daycare use. And with that, with the loading zone condition, planning recommends approval of the appeal.
Thank you. If you plan to
Just
speak,
add in for the board, it's in your package, there are multiple letters of support. I'm sure the applicant can go through them, but the letters of support from Delegate Robin Lewis, Councilmember Antonio Glover, Patterson Park Neighborhood Association, and the Bluebird Education Network, and I believe the Patterson Park Charter School as well.
okay. If anybody plans to speak in support or against, please stand and be sworn.
You raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
If I can get you, I assume you look like you're going to be a primary speaker.
Yes.
If I can get your name and spelling.
Clement Molina, Clement, last name Molener.
E-R or A-R?
AR, I'm sorry.
And sir, I assume you will be speaking for your side.
Yeah, against Thomas Graves.
Graves.
Graves, Graves.
Okay, and a few other individuals speak.
The owners, these are the owners, husband and wife.
Right. Well, we'll get them if they speak.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So because we have opposition today, I just want to remind people of how we handle oppositions. The applicant will get the first and the last word, so we'll get to present your case. We'll ask the opposition to present, to speak, and then you guys will have the last word, and then we will deliberate. So please, guys, be seated. Make sure your microphone is on when you speak. If you press the button, the light should be green.
Can I ask one question too? I know we've gone away from this, but I was reminding myself. Mr. Graves, have you had a chance to speak with the applicants here?
No, we have not.
Do you think, I mean, I don't know if it would be fruitful, because it might be worth a discussion if you have questions to avoid the board, and if someone might be unhappy with the decision, but if you have an opportunity to discuss the case,
Well,
we could take a 5-minute recess, but.
I will say that, when people have come to us and they haven't spoken first, there are a lot of problems that can be fixed with a small conversation. So if you guys would like to have an opportunity to speak first, we would like to offer for you. We're running ahead of schedule, so we can give you 5 minutes to speak.
Well, look,
if not, we'll just hash it out here, and we'll be the mediators.
What I wanted to say is, even though he may be opposed to this daycare, I'm not sure that he realizes what we would do for the community with all the support that we do have. And that's coming from the councilman, the community association.
Okay. Sir, would you like an opportunity to speak with them briefly?
I would love one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll give you guys 5 minutes. We'll take a recess.
All right, we are off record at 1:46. Sean?
You wanna take that?
We are on the record at 1:57.
Well, thank you, guys. And so I hope that you guys will able, if not reach any conclusions, hopefully we can have a focused conversation today. So first, please tell us about your application and then your plans.
Okay, the application consists of a little dumpling daycare center that the owner wants to operate from 7 in the morning until, what's it, 6
p.m.
6 p.m. What's the age group?
2 to 5.
2 to 5. Maybe go up a little as we, process. It'd be 12.
12 to start off with.
12 to start off with.
I guess, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you've gone ahead and spoken a couple times. Can we get your name and spelling?
Sure. My first name is Sean, Shawn. Last name is Gunratner, Gunratne.
Allison, Alison. Last name is Morris, Morris.
A husband and wife, by the way.
So, okay, so a couple sort of questions we have. Just there might be a clerical error in our documents. The planning department memo has 35 children as the proposed use. What is your application listed? How many?
45.
45? Was it?
So we are calculating capacity based on the licensing requirement of 35 square feet per child. And as you know, it's a large building. It's about 4,500 square feet total. So we're not going to be at capacity when we start. And I initially thought it was just going to be 35 for the capacity. But with that space of the first and second floor, we do have the ability to go up to 45. Of course, licensing has to come out and measure it. But based on our preliminary calculations, it appears that we could do 45.
Do you know how long it would take you guys to expand to 45 if you wanted to?
I think up to 2 to 3 years potentially.
Because
within the
my
first
suggestion might be we start with the 35. You can always come back for an additional 10 if your needs change.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think that might work fine. I guess the question we had was the posting, because the instructions in the agenda noted 35 children as well, but if the window or what you actually posted said 35 versus 45, and that is one of the questions the board had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sign was 35?
Yeah.
So we'll keep it at 35.
Okay.
If you guys, I think you guys could always come back in a year or so or whatever and say, hey, we're going gangbusters. You can't keep the little kiddos out there. You need more space. So tell us a bit about the current use. Is it currently a daycare? No.
No.
Okay.
it's not.
Tell us a bit about the current use.
Yeah.
So it was a parish house for the church across the street, which at one point was the largest Catholic church and had the biggest congregation, so housed about 8 priests. And it's been not in use for a couple years, and we purchased it in October.
And by the way, it was beautiful inside. Seated bathrooms. I mean, the best. They really did it up.
Okay.
But it kind of has sat empty. We live in the neighborhood as well, just so you know. We are community residents and we want to work and live in our neighborhood. So it has sat empty for a long time because of the size, the sheer size of 4,500 square feet. It's been really hard to get maybe like a family to go in there because there were, you know, 8, 10 bedrooms and needed a lot of work. So
Okay. A couple clarifying questions I do have. Have you guys already reached have you guys already reached out to the parking authority?
Yes.
Okay.
I reached out, but I did go to the DOT, which informed me to go to the parking authority.
Okay.
And I think in the past, we've had a situation like that where the parking, because it's a corner unit, I'd like to give out some folders if I could, can I?
Yes, please.
Okay.
You can give them to Justin here.
If you have any multiple copies, then make sure you give one to Mr.
Opposition,
Graves.
While you're handing those out, I see in your application you guys have proposed or suggested a future use of the third floor as a co-working space that would fit up to 10 parents. If you guys were to expand, would that be the same space you would use to fit also the additional children, or would it all be within? So you could do both? Okay.
You could do both. So you could have 45 within the first and second floor based on the square footage, and then the third floor is the co-working space.
Okay.
Because we really want it to be a community feel and have parents. It's an accessory to the primary use of the daycare.
Yeah.
It's only for parents with kids.
Okay.
At this
And just to clarify, we're only here on the, we're not here on the accessory use.
I mean, I guess it's accessory would be part of it as long as you find, which it sounds like it is accessory and
It is accessory.
customarily and secondary to the primary use as the daycare center. And so it sounds, and that,
Okay.
there's a history of this sort of office co-working space and daycare in the hybrid world. So it would make sense. And so,
Okay.
I mean, and it's in the floor plans, I believe, too. So that would be.
Could
if
you
the
guys
board
tell
were
us
to
more
approve it.
about the lighting and security?
Sure. We're contracting with ADT for the security. We'll have cameras on the front and on the side entrances. We'll also have exterior lighting on the front and side entrances. We'll also have a security door at the front where people will need to be buzzed in so that no strangers will be allowed. Any questions? Oh,
One
sorry.
last question before I turn over to my colleagues. How do you guys plan on meeting the state's requirements for outdoor play area?
Across the street.
Okay.
Yeah. A large playground. And also, we do have a basement that has got so much room, like you say, 4,500 square feet. So we plan to put a little playroom in the basement as well.
Okay.
And then, like the school, uses the park for access, we're going to continue.
Yeah.
If you look at the triangle, well, really, it's not a triangle. It's actually a corner lot where you see that the crosswalk is there. That side of the building, we're going to try to go to the parking authority and see if we can get some type of agreement to use that as a drop-off, which will be probably from 7 to 9 in the morning, and then from 3 to 6 in the evening, so that they can pick up their children. I think the way that it's crossed out right now is kind of minimum to where we probably can assess that if they will allow it.
Okay.
To use it for parking within a reasonable amount of hours. I think it might work. And also, if you look at the back of the building, we have a garage that is there. See it there?
Mm-hmm.
So nobody parks there anyway. So I think if it's about 2 cars or 3 cars, see there? that's all we would be asking for the drop-off, that area right there. I'm pretty sure, I'm not confident that the parking authority will go along with the use there. And I hate to rob anybody from parking, because the parking in that neighborhood, as you guys should know, is terrible.
And just to emphasize too, we do want to make it a community space. We do want to have parents on the third floor co-working. Right now, 30%, all the daycares have waitlisted, and there's a huge need for childcare. So we want to make sure that it's as walkable as possible. We'll be prioritizing folks in the neighborhood, and we have a vision for, parents walking to the place. We live on the 2500 block ourselves, so we'll be walking.
And there's door access, there's two, one that goes into the basement where the railing is, and the other one that's up there. I mean, it's perfect access to come out the side of the building instead of being in the front, having kids all the time coming in one entrance. There's two entrances to the first floor, which is the black door you see above, and then around the front as well.
So
Any other questions?
I have a couple of questions for you. So the exterior requirement that the state requires, you're saying that that you have, or do you believe, or do you have an agreement that says that the park can be utilized as the exterior space in lieu of something
No,
like that?
we don't have any agreement yet. We have to contact them. I believe it should work, because there is a fire hydrant that has to stay clear, and it's only two cars.
I think you're talking about parking. I think his question is the state requires outdoor space at daycares, right?
I'm sorry.
And so,
I'm
like,
sorry.
do
I'll take
you
this
have
one.
approval
Yes.
from the state that the park counts?
So before we purchased the property, we did a pre-application walkthrough with licensing with Department of Education Child Care Office. They came by and they did a walkthrough with us and approved that, yes, this would work with the park as used as the outdoor space. So we didn't purchase the property until we had that approval from licensing.
Good. So with that, I'm very familiar with the area. I actually live in the area myself. I drive this street every single day. I think it's a great location for daycare, and it's great community opportunity here too as well. I would love to see, just because again I know the amount of pedestrian walks, and I always brainstorm of what we can do to make this a little more safe to get access to the park. I think it would be great if you could communicate with DOT and see if we can get a signaled crosswalk here for your children to go from your property to the park across the street.
I think there might be.
There is a crosswalk, but it's not a. Okay.
That's signalized.
Yeah, it's a four-way.
Okay, then that's, well, you know what? For somebody who just said I drive this street every single day.
Great idea. It's also in the folder.
But shoot myself in my foot right there.
Yeah.
Right. In that case, that's perfectly acceptable. I think that's, again, the connection between the park is a great opportunity to utilize the park as well. I do have one more thing, but I'd like to hear what the gentleman has to say in opposition before I come back and ask my second question.
Any other questions before we hear from the opposition?
No.
I just had one, and for my notes too. I'm sorry, Mr. Is it Clement? So, is you the representative, attorney, or?
I am actually the applicant for the construction, and I'm also the agent for the property as well.
But I guess, thank you. And then actual day-to-day operation will be you, Ms. Morris, and Mr.
Yes.
Garvey.
Thank you. Sir, what brings you here today?
Yeah, so my name's Thomas Graves. I live on the 2600 block of East Baltimore. And, I think I originally came representing a lot of the concerns of the neighbors on the block that couldn't be here today. Through the discussions that we've had, I think a lot of our concerns would be alleviated with the following conditions. So we have a really big concern around access and parking, specifically access to the back alley that's off of North Lakewood there. And with there being a charter school directly across the street, we're concerned around where are the parents going to park when they're dropping their kids off and picking their kids up. And so if there was a dedicated parking zone or loading zone at the very beginning of North Lakewood, as Mr. Clement said they're pursuing, that would alleviate our concerns. Additionally, if there were staff enforcing the use of that loading zone and stopping parents from the charter school from using that, where there's like 750 children that get picked up and dropped off for that school every day, that would also alleviate our concerns. And then
I want to pause you right there.
Excuse me? Yes?
It's hard for, it's a loading zone, but it's still a public street. So it's hard for them to enforce something that presumably the police department, parking authority should be enforcing, other than putting in 311 requests, 311 codes and things of that nature, which you guys can also do. So I want to make sure we set expectations about like what
Understood.
they can and cannot do.
Understood. Okay. And then lastly, every single day we have people parking in that back alley right behind the garage on North Lakewood, and they block our only way to our vehicles. Some of us use that to get out. Others use it to get in after we drop our kids off at other places and we're coming back to the house to park. So posted signs would also help alleviate concerns. And then the last area is maintenance of the park. So as you can see from this image, I think this image is about 3 years old, 3 years old, and the grass is pretty damaged because the charter school uses the park for play areas for their kids. They also leave a lot of trash in the park after the play sessions. So just if there was some kind of commitment to keep the park clean when they're using the park for their outdoor activities, that would go a long way to making sure we're doing right by the city's investment in this public park.
Any other questions? Any questions for opposition or comment?
No questions.
And if I may, am I allowed for one more
sure.
thing? Mr. Mosey, apologies if I got that incorrect. He noted that a signal crosswalk would help. I drive this street every day. I can see that crosswalk from my window. People run that light all the time. If there was some way to put like additional blinkers on that crosswalk or something just to let people know that like kids are near, kids are crossing, it would help. I watch cars run it all day long, red lights.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, I think the safest thing for this crosswalk is something worth investigating. So I don't disagree with that at all.
Something, I don't know what they call those little
Red light,
things.
or even a red light. Well, I mean, probably best choice would be a red light camera and get revenue for the city.
Red light camera.
Well, they do have the school kids in the neighborhood sign. I will reach out to the transportation.
People don't care about those signs, man. You know
Okay,
that.
all right, we'll leave it alone. I mean, I don't know what else to say in regards to that because people going to be people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important. It's just, they can make the conditions as they deem appropriate. I would suggest, I mean, between the connections that the applicants have with the elected officials, the state and local level, they can advocate.
The
Pass
speed
park.
limit in that is going to be lower than like what you would get if you made a school zone speed limit. Or it's going to be the same, right? Because it's of what that street is. So I would say you could probably make a stronger case for a speed camera than you can a red light camera. So I think that would be hard, but DOT is going to be who you can contact. And I think the only thing I would say to opposition is having another place bringing more children that will then be using that crosswalk creates pressure on the city, right? Like you didn't do enough to make it safe for the 750 kids that are elementary school age. Now you're going to have little children that are going to be using that crosswalk. We see the red lights get run every day. What's your plan? It could look like traffic enforcement being out there during like key hours. So coordinating with the operators to say like, here's the times, peak times when kids are crossing that street. And you need to have traffic enforcement out there. But I think a red light camera ends up being your best defense. And now you have all the parents that are going to send their kids to that preschool you can organize the parents at the charter school, and then of course you all that live on that street. That's a lot of people. And then of course, because the preschool has all the lawmakers and everybody with their support letters, that would be the order that I would go in, of just saying like, I'm a council person, obviously, and like Delegate Lewis is like a big safe streets person and probably already been dealing with this for a long time. I think adding little children to the mix makes the case. So if red light running is an issue, I would advocate for a red light camera, and see where that goes, because that does help once people get that ticket once or twice, or see
Yeah,
the
that
sign.
helps. Those helps more than the
They-
signs do.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay. It seems like, excuse me, can you tell me your name again?
Thomas Graves.
So like Mr. Graves' comments generally had to do with just please be good neighbors. And so whether it be about rear alley access, please make sure that the rear alley access is maintained. Please do your best to get that loading zone established on Lakewood. And take care of our parks. You know, seems like things you could be amenable to. Please, what is your response to what you just heard?
We totally agree, all three of us, and I think, Mr. Glover, you agree, from our conversation, that we're gonna be committed to addressing these concerns for the, community?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all agree. I absolutely agree with him, and my clients, they definitely agree as well. We're going to do our very best to make sure we stay in compliance.
And we've already shared our contact information with Mr. Graves and plan on meeting the neighbors on that block and talking to them and making sure that, more than anything, that we're in constant communication with one another, because a lot of the issues can be alleviated by just talking to one another and making sure that if there is someone blocking it and it's one of our parents, they can contact us and that we're reachable.
Okay.
Yeah, we also are putting in cameras around the rear. I noticed you didn't tell Mr. Glover. We're gonna put a rear camera in the back. Mr.
Graves.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, what was it, drop off and pickup times you were expecting?
7 to 6, 7 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Could I ask a simple question? Have you, in planning this, have you had any correspondence with the charter school to bring up some issues about the parking?
Yeah, so we have a letter of support from the Patterson Park Public Charter School. It says Bluebird Network because that's the operator of the charter school. We're in communication with Jane, who's the executive director, and we're collaborating, working together because we're staggering our drop off and pickup time. They drop off, I believe, at 7:45. That's why we're suggesting 7 a.m. early care. And then, 8:15 would be another drop-off point that parents can do, but we'll make sure it does not overlap with the charter school.
And you answered my final question because it gets a little challenging out there with the charter school drop-off system.
I know.
Or the lack of system there. So
Yeah.
communication with them would be great.
Absolutely.
Well, one of my questions was going to be, do we know where, if at all, there's a drop-off zone? Is it on Fairmount or for the charter school? But I don't know
Sounds
if
like they
anyone
don't
knows.
have.
They really don't have one, and I can speak to that personally because I'm dodging
So
cars.
down Baltimore at like
It's
3
really
o'clock.
challenging. It's really challenging my driving skills as I
I
drive.
used to live
around.
over there,
But,
and the school in the south
it-
part of the park also has
Yeah,
same
I know.
challenges.
And they're very popular schools. They're some of the best in the city and the state. for
It's
a
a great
reason,
school,
so,
yeah. So, yeah, please, encouragement to be good neighbors and work with charter school and the community as well is heavily encouraged.
Okay, any other questions? I would like to adopt the findings of the planning department, and I would like to make sure that, I want to suggest that we propose that they continue to reach out to the parking authority to establish a loading zone, and also inquire to DOT about establishing a speeding camera, or a red light camera?
Red light.
A red light camera at the corner of Baltimore and, was that Lakewood? And continue to reach out to neighbors and work with the charter school to, establish, conditions or to about parking and pickup and loading. I'm going to let's do the conditional use first and then do the variance. And so after reading the application, hearing testimony today from both proponents and those in opposition or who had concerns about the plan, I'll say that. We have to understand with a conditional use, adverse consequences are presumed. That's why the use is conditional, not by right. And so here with a daycare center, increased traffic, increased noise, are sort of presumed in it. And so the question we have to ask are, will the negative effects that come along with having a daycare center of up to 35 children, will they go above and beyond where what we would expect anywhere else within this area? And so I haven't heard, in hearing the testimony today, I haven't heard anything that to me would suggest that the negative consequences would go above and beyond what we would normally expect, mitigated by the substantial area along Longwood that could provide a loading zone to help mitigate pickup, take some of that traffic off of Baltimore Street, and also the capacity of the building, the ability to have up to 35 children or more. And so for those reasons, I am a yes for the conditional use with the accessory use of the co-working space.
Also a yes.
Also a yes.
On the conditions, I'm a yes.
And I am also a yes.
So next, we have a variance. Because in the zoning district, all other uses require, I believe, 3,000 square feet of lot area. So the first inquiry you have to make, we already adopted the planning comments. I just want to make sure I walk us through the steps for the record. Is we have to find either a uniqueness or peculiar aspects of the property that would justify the property receiving relief from the zoning code, because everybody has to follow the zoning code. And so here we have a property that is improved with a structure that takes up the full lot area, which is unlike many other neighboring properties on the block. Because it covers the full lot area, there is no other, because the area, there's no way to, of course, create new lot area for the property. So that is completely caused by the zoning code's requirement for having 3,000 square feet lot area. However, that is mitigated by the fact that the existing structure is more than adequate to support 35 or more children on the property. And so this practical difficulty is caused by the code and not by the applicants themselves. The purpose of the variance is not exclusively based on the desire to increase the income potential of the property, and it would not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other neighboring properties. This variance is in harmony with the purpose and intent of the Baltimore City Code and the city's comprehensive master plan. We want to find a way to have more childcare within our communities in the city. This is not in there's no existing urban renewal plan, and is not, this project does not run afoul of any of the CHAP district requirements. The variance will not be otherwise detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, or wellness. And for those reasons, I am a yes for the variance to lot area.
I'm a yes to the variance.
Also a yes.
I vote yes.
And I'm also yes to variance.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
so much. Yes.
Thank you very much.
With that, we can go off the record.